to prove their husbands were a success. What? To shock, spook and scare. Costumes have begun to become. I feel ashamed. Happy Friday! Or should I say, Happy Halloween! Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Georgia Harrop, and every single Friday I bring you a brand new Vintageish video. Today, we are going to talk about the 1950s and what Halloween was like back in day, lass. And I'm going to attempt a 1950s costume idea for you. If you love all things vintage and pin-up, but are wondering maybe where to start, well, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on so that you never miss another video. If you are just starting to wear vintage-ish clothing and perhaps wondering where to begin, well, my friends, this is the channel for you. As always, I love to know what you think, so drop me a comment below, and if you have any recommendations for future videos, let me know too. I'm a firm believer that you don't have to wear vintage exclusively to be a vintage lover. Generally, my look day to day will contain a small nod from maybe the 40s, the 50s or 60s, or perhaps all three decades. The 1950s interest me the most because I feel like this is when clothing really became an important part of culture. It was a time to showcase one's place in society, and it became a way to express conformity and individual identity. Things were finally beginning to recover after World War II, and fashion was really lifting people's spirits again. Fashion in the 1950s was beginning to get brighter, often consisting of the well-known fit and flare shape or the wiggle shape that we know today. Back then, a woman's appearance was linked to her husband's success. Let's just pause for a minute. When I read about this, I was actually like, what? I do not dress for my husband. I dress for myself because I am the one that is walking out that door and wearing this outfit. I just can't imagine a time when what I put on in the morning would make Betty and John next door think that we were a huge success. But based upon this ridiculous ideology, fashion actually bloomed because women everywhere rushed out to get the latest trends to prove their husbands were a success. Halloween in the 1950s, however, was a little bit of a modest affair. People began to have Halloween parties as a much-needed distraction for what they called war strain. And thanks to a post-war baby boom, Halloween parties actually were held in private homes, schools and back gardens as opposed to town centres and neighbourhoods. It was transforming into a family-friendly celebration. Kids dressed up in costumes, they went trick-or-treating, they carved jack-o'-lanterns, and they generally ran around their neighbourhood causing mayhem. The biggest difference you will find in Halloween in the 1950s was perhaps the costumes. In the late 1940s, early kind of 1950s, costumes such as a mummy, a witch, ghosts, pirates, pumpkins, these were all popular. Some of the games were also a little bit more modest. Pin the tail on the donkey, still played today. Poor donkey. Bobbing for apples, telling fortunes, and also throwing donuts on the tail of a black cat. Which of course you should not do in real life with real black cats. By the late 1950s, costumes had begun a little bit more imaginative. Children would choose gypsies and robots and brides and things like colonial girls like Pocahontas. They're just not appropriate in today's world. Characters from TV shows such as Lassie, Popeye, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, these were all really popular as well. Do you think that Halloween, by today's standard, has got just way over the top? Maybe we should go back to being excited about bobbing for apples like they're a treat. Which do you prefer? These days, costumes are actually quite terrifying. Some years I have opened the door to a 5-year-old trick-or-treater and genuinely gasped. The aim is to shock, spook and scare. But back in the 1950s, Covering yourself in loo paper was probably the most terrifying thing. Costumes back then were just easy, simple to put together and not as wasteful as we are today. With that in mind, I have taken a rubbish bag, or a trash bag as some people also call it. Did you know that rubbish bags were actually invented in the 1950s, 1950 to be precise, by Canadians Harry, Larry and Frank? Back then though, they were actually green and definitely not as sustainable as some brands are today. Take one black bin liner. Have you ever played that game at parties where you take a bin liner and you've got like a minute to do the best outfit ever? Well, I feel like I've definitely failed at that game. Put a hole in the top so that you have somewhere to put your head and 2 armholes and voila!
Okay, so my outfit is not quite as glorious as these bin bag beauties, but the aim of my game is a simple costume. This might have been done way back when in the 1950s, but the humble bin bag still makes a great last minute outfit even in 2020. If you want to be a witch, wear a bin bag. Zombie? Wear a bin bag. There is no denying that when you are short on time and low on money, they really are a staple item in your wardrobe, or kitchen drawer for that matter.
And I did cheat a little bit putting this on my head because I actually got this from Boohoo, not the 1950s. You could basically make this, and if you were in the 1950s, all you would need is an Alice band, some chicken wire, and then you just draw some little cardboard bats, cut them out and stick them on. I know, this is probably the worst outfit that you've ever seen. My Halloween outfits in these videos are rapidly going downhill, but this is all about just having fun and doing something a little bit quick and easy. This is literally less than a minute to put on. You know, actually, I saw a recent ad for a sexy hand sanitizer outfit for Halloween. Like, I genuinely do not know where the world is going right now. I reckon that my PPE style black bin liner Halloween effort has more of a chance than a sexy sanitizer. However you are celebrating Halloween, I wish you a wonderful night of marvellous mischief. Social distance, of course. Those of you who want to come and chat some more about all things Vintageish, or maybe you just want to connect with like-minded humans, I have a Facebook group. I will pop the link in the description box below if you fancy joining. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really appreciate your time. I am so sorry. I feel ashamed of this. I feel ashamed. Honestly, guys, I know that my videos are going a bit downhill with the Halloween outfits, but we're done now, like for another year, obviously. But I feel like this is the 1950s look. Put a sack over your head. They used pillowcases, bed sheets, potato sacks, bin liners. They were so creative, and I feel like I've just gone back to my roots here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And tune in next Friday, guys, when we will have a non-Halloween themed related video. Have a great Halloween, guys, and until next time, bye!